Nah, you can't make me watch it.
You gonna watch it? It's like Kenshin, and you like Kenshin.
I don't even got Amazon Prime.
That's a lie.
You don't know if it's a lie or not.
I know you have access to someone with Amazon Prime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Herbal Synergies, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, of course, my co-host, Irby.
What up?
What's up, Irby?
Shoot, ain't shit shaking but the leaves on the tree.
Ain't shit shaking but the leaves on a tree.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, cool. So, Irby, before we get into anything, I had a thought upon finishing the last episode of season one of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Would you like to know what that thought was?
Go ahead, King.
Okay. So, obviously, when we were talking before, you said it felt nice having the free slot so we can watch whatever we want to watch and just talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that just leaves one slot to like pick things to watch. If someone, say me, who usually picks something with more than one season, picks something more than one season, you kind of get held up on that show for a while. So
Mm-hmm.
instead, we'll limit it to a single season, and then you get to pick whether we continue watching that show or start watching something else.
Interesting.
That's what I thought. And then,
Hmm.
like, if you chose that show again, we watch season two, and there's a season three. Well, then I get to choose whether we start something else or watch season three. I don't know. Just to keep it fair.
Keep it interesting. Hmm. Well, that's why I pick shows with one seasons or newer shows, because that way it's not bogged down. But that's how I live. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't matter to me, dog. It's your world. I'm just living in it.
No, it ain't my world, dog. You older than me.
Shoot. Nah, man. I ain't even getting born yet.
You a grandpa, dog. You got a flavor this week, Gramps?
Yeah, I got a couple flavors.
A couple.
Uh, yeah, it'd be some funny ones. Yeah, my boy. I'm gonna have to go. My boy Rack this week. He was like, "Holy crap, a talking crab!" And then Hockney's like, "Bro, you're a whole talking alligator. What do you mean?" So
Oh, rack.
yeah, yeah, and phew, who, buddy? Yeah. Watch some other funky animes too. King's Game, crazy already. It just, whew, I like, man, this is really happening. First episode,
It's happening.
shoot, yeah, craziness, craziness. But yeah, what's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor.
My flavor is coming out of Dororo. And it's pretty much like two flavors in the same episode. It's like one leads to another, but it's like just to summarize it without giving too much away. This girl was taking care of a bunch of kids who were victims of like losing their family and villages from war.
More
And
orphans.
the way Dororo realized how she was making money to take care of those kids was like, ooh. And then Hyakimaru, after what happened later in that little time in that hut, it was like, oh, And it was a scene I seen on Instagram. It was probably the scene that made me want to watch Dororo.
Mm.
So that would be my flavor. Without anyone who's watched probably knows what I'm talking about.
Dog, enlighten the audience.
Nah, dog, no spoilers.
That's what the whole show about, spoiling.
Nah, bug, no spoilers to
Spilling,
you.
spilling it out. I ain't even gonna watch it, dog.
You gonna watch it?
Nah, you can't make me watch it.
You gonna watch it? It's like Kenshin, and you like Kenshin.
Dawg, I don't even got Amazon Prime.
That's a lie.
You don't know if it's a lie or not.
I know you have access to someone with Amazon Prime.
Do I?
Yeah, because everyone does.
Nah, dog.
There's not a.
We
I don't think
cheap.
there's a single adult person out there without access to Amazon Prime.
We cheap over here, bro. My whole family mooches off my Netflix, my Hulu, my Disney Plus.
Mm. And your Amazon Prime, I understand.
Nah, ain't got no Amazon Primes.
Yow.
Mm, yeah. So what you trying to get into, King?
Um, talk a little
You do
bit about little Children X.
Chosen X. Go ahead and spark that thing on up.
I like the beginning of the chapter, a little Ellie backstory, and how she came to
Yeah.
be. You know, her mom had parents that were too poor to fill her interest because they lived in like a country style place, and she always read about the cities, the big cities, and like nice things. So when she realized that she couldn't get those things from her parents, she left at 16, became a criminal, a thief,
Yeah.
brought together a band of misfits, and became notorious. Came back with a
300.
child. What's up?
Yeah. I said 300 because yeah, it's 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
300 deep.
Came back with a child in hand and a deathly sickness that was going to kill her. Said, "Don't raise my child to be like me," and died. And that's how we got Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie's
She's
just a
there.
girl trying not to fill the shoes of her mom.
She ought to become a villain. Do it. Villainies worth life.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
Such anti-villain.
You want to get into some TOG?
Nah, I don't feel like it.
Damn.
Nah, I'm just kidding. So in this week's installment of Tower of God, season 3, episodes 76 to 83.
76
So
to 83. Let me look those up real quick.
yeah, look those up. Give it all looky loo. Loo loo loo.
I'm here, Doug. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's back to Yastracha. My man's telling Yama to give up. And he's like, don't even think of refusing this order of giving up. But Yama's like, I ain't gonna give up. That's part of my Saiyan pride. And so Yastracha's like, everyone has a survival instinct. And Yama's like, nah, I do this for the respect. I can't go out here being a Saiyan and getting beat up. So then we flash over to Ishu's group, and he's like, why do you want to help Cha? And he basically tells them that Bam's a child of prophecy. So he wants to do what he can for the boy. And yeah, he also acknowledged we also get a little bit of Hat's insight here. He's like, oh, Bam's outgrowing me and stuff. He's like, I still want to be by his side, but I need to get stronger. But he's still too weak right now. So then the commander, forgot his name, but I wrote it down in the later chapter. Him and Sola, they reach where the captives are, and he betrays her, which I had seen this coming. For that little smirk, I said, "Oh, that man's up to no good. Started trouble in your neighborhood."
Got one little fight, the neighborhood got scared.
Yeah.
The rankers got
So
scared.
yeah. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I just recruited you to be the new recruit for the cage." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just like Yastracha, and I want to dominate her and Beans, and the beings that are there are brainwashed. Also, this was could have been my other flavor of the week when she sent out an SOS and Hachaishi show up and like the look on her face. She's like, "These two people, regulars." And then her face changes once Child shows up, and they're like, "Oh, did you see how quick her face changed?" I thought that was pretty funny. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of remind me of I forget the child's name. Anna, yeah, Anya, with her little face. I was like, oh, that was hilarious.
Damn, how do you forget about Anya?
Yeah, I saw the face. I couldn't put the name to it.
I still see her everywhere on Instagram.
I don't be looking everywhere. I barely be on there anymore.
That's a lie.
You're a lie. The
Damn.
whole
So
existence of reality is a lie.
so that last chapter really just left you on a cliffhanger for that next BAM fight.
Oh yeah, it did. Um,
That's brutal.
yeah, yeah. I was like, man, why you finna wait, dog? But yeah, I was like, I should read, but I was like, you know what? I don't care that bad. I could wait. Delayed gratification. That's how I'd go. So yeah, so then they Chad starts attacking the commander and he does a backflip in the chair. I'm like, bro, get out the chair. What are you doing? So then uh the commander transform and he has like cattail to hypnotize people and Hats and Cha are immune, but Sola and Ishi was like, oh my gosh, I just want to touch it. And he says an interesting quote that I liked here. He's like, the body follows what the mind wants. I thought this was interesting because it's basically saying like mind over matter in a sense, which is kind of true too. Because I remember back when we had to do football training conditioning in the summertime, like it wasn't like it was real hard, but it was like your mind wanted to give up way before your body wanted to because it was just hot and tough and high altitudes. But if you got your mind right, it was like, oh, I could do this. This ain't no problem. Then you normally finish the workout pretty well, which that's how I always used to be like. So
No, the
yeah,
mind. Yeah, the mind's a very persuasive factor when it comes to using your body. How like if you're doing a workout by yourself, you might not push yourself as hard as you were doing a workout with someone because you're in your mind you're trying to like keep up and almost like outdo that person you're working out with. It was like, oh, if that person can do it, I can do it. Or
nah,
if
not me.
you do 20, I'm gonna do 30.
I go hard all the time, no gas. I mean,
Uh,
all gas, no brakes.
yeah. That's why I couldn't go to the gym with Tony. Couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
My body couldn't keep up with my mind.
Yeah. See, I never worried about what the next person was doing because I was like, this is what I know what I need to do to get myself in position to do better. So that's what I did. I kept my stuff moving.
I also
But
have
yeah.
like an alpha mentality personality where like I want to do better than everyone I'm around.
Oh yeah, you got what you got like 6'5" personality trapped in like a 5'2" body.
Well, more than 5'2", but yeah.
I was just making a joke. It's a,
Ha ha ha.
it's a hyperbole, as they say.
It's a high go fuckers. No, I'm kidding.
Damn. But anyhow, yeah. So, but we don't. But Hot isn't actually immune. It's like the sword that he carries. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Then we get the sword's backstory, and we also get into the commander's backstory, like how he had like a side family, but he grew up in like the main family. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna become an anima. And he was like, yeah, you gotta be nice to animals instead of use coercions and force them to do what they want to do. And so like basically he goes to a village and the village is in trouble, overrun with all these little rabbits. And eventually he tames them and people have them as pets. But then, so what brings on that disaster is there's a big old monster that eats those rabbits that he end up taming. And that presents a whole problem because they come down to the village to eat them little rabbits. And he can't defeat them. He's like, oh man, y'all gotta call the army in. But there's no need for that because an army of one shows up. And that's yes, Stretcher. And he comes to defeat the monsters, and then he tells the villagers wild animals are dangerous and shouldn't be tamed. I was like, you got a point. But it was inhumane what they did next. He basically told them you have to overpower them and kill the they can't be they can only be killed or overpowered. And then he tells them to kill the pets. And I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. So then they all just go beating their pets, and the pets are looking at them like, what are you doing, master? Ah. So,
Yeah.
so, so then the commander's like, oh, I got to tell Yastrassi his way was violent and he was wrong. And like people and animals need to learn to live together. And then Yastrassi's like your way's any better. Come with me and watch this silly rabbit. So you took him out back to where where the giant creatures were, and they were just eating rabbits. And he's like, those creatures only came and attacked the village because they came in search to look for the rabbits for food. And Yastras's like, I see through you, that facade you put up. And it's like, people like you want to dominate people, but they settle for animals because they're easier to dominate. I'm like, ooh, man, psychoanalysis right there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I can give you the power to control. And then we get a flashback to when Hots was getting his sword, uh, his Nimbus sword, as I like to say, because you have to be of a pure mind and not greedy. So I was like, huh, yeah,
Powerful extend.
yeah. I also didn't know the ranker should just destroy the sword because if he can't use it, no one can use it.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he shouldn't have because then Hatch wouldn't be able to save the people. So
But now his enemy has it.
his enemy doesn't have his sword.
Oh, I don't know what ranker we're talking about then.
It's the ranker with the star face, the one that helped him out when Bam did the
Oh, that guy's cool.
yeah. That's all I was talking about. Because he can't use a sword because he's too strong to use it. So, but he's like, you know what? I'll be a nice guy and say this for someone that is really benefit, and I won't be participating in any villainous behavior.
No, that's for a comrade. That's different.
Villainy.
It's fine if it's for a comrade.
Nah, dog.
But
You want to
if you're
spread it?
if you're flowing solo and you can't use that sword and know that sword can potentially kill you, and you're solo, you have every right to break the sword. Why risk it getting into the hand of your
Nah,
enemy?
nah. Because if he's really that guy and you was about it, it wouldn't even matter who had weapons against you because you would prosper.
Nah, nah. I'd
Nah,
rather
you just
avoid the future pain in the ass.
nah. You just rather be a villain in the present. Well, that's okay. I accept you for you, Mister Villain.
I'm glad you accept me for my realistic mindset.
No, I don't accept you at all.
Damn.
You're my rival.
Oh, now you gotta die.
Nah, I'm already dead on the inside. This a ghost, baby. Yeah, so so then yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so he gets his sword and it's like, oh, the sword doesn't like people to be strong. And basically everything I said earlier, and it's like, oh, it will kill you otherwise, if it doesn't agree with you. And so Dong Hei, he ignites it, knocks the spell out of people. Cha then knocks out the commander out of his chair, and then he gets uh, some animal step to the commander, and then he gets snatched up, ate up by one of the animals he had. I was like, ooh. And then his name is Kendrick Beale. I've forgotten that, but now I see it. And then it was funny because yes, Stretcher was like, why don't you use your legs? And he's like, oh, I don't have to walk because people will do things for me or whatever. And he's like, well, in his head, he's like, oh, that's silly because the whole purpose of your personal evolution was to walk and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah." And so he's kind of crazy, backwards thinking.
Is he?
So yeah, I mean, why would you sit in a chair all day when you could be ambulatory? I hate sitting all day.
That's his that's his niche.
No, he just crazy. He just do wild stuff.
Some people want to do wild things.
Yeah, you wild. So so then we jump back to Bam, and he's fighting a looks what appears to be like a dinosaur rack. It's like a rhino. A Bam cuts off the horn and like a fire erupts. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. Is that another thorn? Because it kind of looked like a thorn, the thorn horn. So, so then we get a White's flashback to when he wants souls, and he wants Bam to use soul power like him, and he's like, I just want to see Bam corrupted. And I'm like, bro, you really are a villain. You're trying to corrupt a pure innocent soul for no reason other than your own sheer pleasure, which is terrible.
You I don't think it's gone into depth on why he wants to corrupt Bam yet, but it will.
Oh yeah, I know why. It's an instant later, but I like to build up to things.
Mm,
All about the build up, and then you get the final release of all the stuff that's building up and welling up inside.
sounds stress relieving.
Yeah, in a way, it's stress relieving because you're like, oh, I couldn't wait to see what finally happened.
Yeah, that.
Release the tension,
Yep,
tension out. Are
exactly
you
what I
think
was
about
thinking.
something else?
No,
Oh,
that's what I was thinking.
yeah. Because it's like when you get like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I can't wait for it, my birthday party in 3 days, and you're just like there, and then by the time you get to your birthday party, you're all hopped up on Mountain Dew, and you're all excited, and then you go to sleep real early that day because you're mentally and physically tired because you drained yourself. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. So let's see. So then there's a man who violates like rules about only being one being and existing in one body. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But basically, how he does it is he saves the data and he brings it back, and he ends up putting their body out later. And then White's like, oh, I want to help you, Bam, and teach you in exchange for your life. And Bam's like, who would do that? You weirdo. And then he's like, Bam just like defeating stuff. And he's like, oh, Bam, you're growing so strong in such a short time because you got me behind you, pushing you to go forward because you don't want me to get you. I'm like, you just Hisoka want to be. So yeah, so let's see. White's like, oh, you want to stop Bam? Because the mystery girl, I think Arya's her name. And yeah, Arya's her name. And he's like, oh, we could team up on this guy. He's like, I'll just get his soul. And then so Bam's like, shoot, I gotta get this thing popping. And so Bam and Arya start fighting, and Bam hits her with a black hole spear. And then like all of a sudden, like temporarily stops her connection with that mysterious man. And she's like, wait, hold on a second. And so they get to talking, and Bam's like, oh, she's like, oh, Bam, I want you to free me. And then so he's like, she's like, yeah, I'll do that. And apparently he should have activated the teleport because now they have to wait for 10 minutes for it to activate. So I got to fight White for 10 minutes. It's like, oh. So then they start to fight, and we find out she can heal instantly, but that's not really what it is. The secret's for later.
Later.
So later. And so then we found out that some rules don't apply to Bam, and White he wants to fight to drop Bam's power. Bam's dodging and blocking swords. Arya's mesmerized that he's blocking swords. And White's like, I'm just trying to make you more tastier to eat, my dear. Huh. Hmm. And he wants his power to come out and burn souls, Bam's power. Uh, and he tells him you got to give up your humanity if you want real power. And Bam's like, no, I don't got to do anything. And Bam launches a black Senshu spear. And then White stabs my boy through the arm. I was like, ooh, why you did they cut his arms off? And then White hates that Bam's expression doesn't change and he wants to see him corrupted. And then we get a flashback to when his father was telling him some stuff and he was proud and whatever. But like his facial expression didn't exchange. And White was talking to, I guess it was his mentor or butler or somebody, and he's like, well, sir, your father hasn't changed in over 600 million years. And he's like, maybe it's you to change. And he ends up slaughtering the guy for some reason. I'm like, ooh, that's terrible.
Because he is corrupted.
Yeah. And he also says Bam reminds him of his father. Everyone has daddy issues and TOG.
Yep, and most of them are jihad.
Yeah. So, so then, yeah, to get a phrase here, going corrupt is easy. Morality is a struggle. I was like, ooh, that's true. Maybe I just need to go corrupt and things will fare better for me. What you think?
It is easier living without fear of consequence.
You think I should do that?
Nah.
Oh, Mr. Morality speaking. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
Nah, I just don't think you have the conscience for it.
You don't know, even if I do got a conscience,
You do.
maybe I got nothing up top.
You're criticizing me for wanting to break a weapon so no one else can use it.
Maybe
You
I just
have a
want to be
conscience.
trolly.
You have a conscience.
Maybe I just like to troll you. You don't know.
You were in the episode where Oprah was giving away a conscience. You get a good conscience. You get a good conscience. And Irby, don't forget about you because you get a good conscience.
No, they ran off what they got to me. Sale
No,
was
she gave
done.
you two.
Nah.
So you get two.
Yeah.
It's a BOGO sale.
Shoot. Well, I'm about to sell two of them right back somewhere. Get my money back.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hal, switching,
Anywho.
switching to Yama, he wants to find a way to stop Yastracha from running. And he says, Yastracha, like, anything you do, I could do better. And he does a complete transformation. And I was like, ooh, you look kind of funky. You don't even look like a cat no more. But hey, that's a transformation. And there's at this moment, Yama knew he had messed up. First time he felt fear. And then he proceeds to get beat down. So then Arya, we go back to Arya's fight with White, and he kicks the sword from Bam's arm. And her ability really is a broken watch. And it makes people perceive time a few seconds later than her. And her left arm must be activated to be attacked for it to activate. And then something else happened too. I was like, is that a wraith, a time monster? Because she was doing something while she had to escape from some big old creature that was coming for her. So I don't know, because she messes with time, that time messes with her. Yeah, you didn't see it?
I saw it. I just don't remember much of the fight.
What do you remember?
The last couple chapters I read.
I try to remember more. Dig deep within your interconsciousness and recall. I don't care. Keep it moving. And then White figures out what she was doing, and he ends up cutting her, and he cuts off her arm. And apparently she can store time too, so she had used up all the time she had left to dodge and save Bam. And there's 10 seconds to launch, and White reveals that he ate Prince and Akaraptor, and he uses it as a ploy to get Bam to fight him again. And my man Bam just being dumb now. I'm like, bro, I was like, there's only X amount of time left, and you over here worrying about what White said when you know you can fight him again after you get your master out.
Nah, bro, but those were his friends. He's grieving. He's angry.
Bro, but
He's not gonna think rational about that. Like, you're a guy that's been chasing you, which is annoying. You don't like him, but all right, whatever. Tells you that people you thought were safe, he killed them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? There's beef. There's beef and it has to be settled.
Oh, we gonna settle it because ain't but like 10 minutes left. So I'm gonna get my master and I'm gonna be like, yo, meet me out back. We gonna handle this. So but yeah, White had called him disgusting and dirty. And he's like, wait for me. And Bam wants to smoke. I'm like, come on, man. Stop being dumb. And Arya is like, he's just trying to provoke you, provoke you, you little twit. And so I still understand it because it's like, you get X amount of time for saving your master. You're wasting time while waiting 10 minutes for there. I think you only get like 4 turns, right?
I think he's good now.
I'm not sure because I think yeah, because there's a time limit, and so I'm thinking you just wasted time now. I would have went save the master, then I would have went back and fight on the way out if I wanted to fight him. Or we could just met up when I saw him in the tower. It would have been Tom and Jerry beef on site. But hey, I'm just a little different, I suppose.
I suppose.
Yeah. And then so we get a little bit of Doan and Caracas story right here. I was like, okay. And so Doan asks Karaka why he hates Shahad. And then she's like, oh, I remember why I hated him. And so she tells him, and Karaka says he was born to hate him. It was like his destiny. And they talk about cosmic forces and ways to artificially create hatred. And he's like, oh, this is basically what was done to Bam. And then Doan and Karaka accounted 2 mice. And they go down this dark hole, and some evil guy caught them in the tube, and he's like, "I'll kill him with some acid." But Karaka, he breaks out because that man's strong. And then they start fighting troops and go after the ranker that try to get him. Uh, yeah, there was a what was it human wave strategy where they'd send what late waves and waves of people to fight him, but my man Karaka has a technique against that. He calls he calls up people from his like dark world and like summons them to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. And then we get flashback to Bam, and Bam's like, oh, I'm not going anywhere until I beat him. And I'm like, grow up, man. Grow up, Bam. You did so much growing up and getting better, knowing that people die and you can't save everyone and people make their own choices. But this how you want to act now? You want to regress back when you were chasing Rachel?
True.
Yeah. Silly Bam. Come on, King. So then we get to Hats too. We go back to that storyline. And he ends up falling out. He used the sword, and he's like, "Oh man, Bam, is this how you feel every time you use your power?" Which I thought was interesting. But no, Bam doesn't feel anything. But for some reason, Hats doesn't want Kun to know about this or whatever. Some I don't know. It's weird. Kind of interesting me. And we find out that yes, Stracha took one of the canine people's eyes or did something to their eyes. I'm like, oh man, that's terrible. And he's like, I want to go see Yama. Meanwhile, Yama's just pulp laying on the ground, and Doom is searching for a mouse, and he sees that there's a trap for him, and there's a mouse and acid, and the acid's acting like a living organism. So he devises a plan, and he gets a mouse, but at what cost? Because my man is all burnt up and hurting. And then he arrives to see his brother beat up, And this is where the tea starts to get spilled. Family drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Hockney group, they make it to the control room, and it's a fishbowl, and they face the tyrant of the tank, Trogny or something. Don't know how to say it. But this is my flavor right here when Rap was like, "Oh man, a talking crab! Can you believe it?" And Hockney says, "You're a talking alligator." And the crab starts telling them about the game, how there's symbols and shapes, and each one corresponds to certain values, and values can change depending on what you catch and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, my goal is to prevent you from getting the values. And if I catch a fish before you can bring it in, I could destroy it and create all sorts of various scenarios." And so kind of like orange fishes exchange values, and they get raised and lower and stuff. So yeah. So then Rack starts to attack the crab, and he's like, "Why bother with the fish? Let's go for the crabs." I'm like, that's that's not actually half bad. If you're strong enough to take out the crab, then it would have worked. So then Hockney's like, "Oh, I can use my eyes to tell where the fish will go and anticipate the fish moves." And then we switch back to Doom, and he's like, I will avenge my mother and father. I'm on my Sasuke." And Yasushi like says, "Oh, your mother or Yama's mother?" I'm like, "Ooh, T." So they don't have the mothers. They have different, same father, different mothers. And we found out that all three of them were bred by the Lopobia family for certain specifications. And we found out that Yama's mother was an actual canine, and he's a mutt. And that's why he can't share his power with anyone.
Yes, sir.
So I was like, ooh, my man didn't know. But yeah, I did think about that a while ago because I was like, all of them look different. And like Doom's the only one that could share power. I was like, seems a little fishy to me. So, but yeah, that was it. Great catch up. Was waiting and raring to go for the next 8. I'll probably read that sometime.
The
Yeah.
next 8.
Yes.
White and Bam.
Shouldn't even be White and Bam. Ought to be Bam and Jin Sung Ha.
Jin Sun Ha.
But hey, he's not disciplined enough to do what he needs to do.
The man, the man, the myth, the legend.
Shoot. Maybe.
Well, it's time to discuss the final 3 episodes of season 1 and how not to summon a demon lord.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Irby?
I was born ready.
How'd you feel about those 3 episodes?
They was weak.
You think so?
I know so.
In what in particular?
Everything.
Fascinating. Really thrilling. You know what? We don't even have to talk about it. Weak.
All right, well, that's it, fellas. I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap it on up.
This freaking guy.
Yeah, go ahead and do what it do, homie.
Well, I'm asking you what you thought about the episodes.
Oh, they were all right. They weren't too bad. Kind of did a whole bunch of cliche stuff,
Like what?
like the one, oh, let me go ahead and get your betray y'all, but then y'all accept me again, and then the whole oh, I don't hurt them, even though they're hurting me, don't hurt them, even though she could have stopped them from hurting y'all could have just ran away, uh, grabbed and ran away, which is dumb. And then you killed my friend, and I didn't stop you from hurting her, and now I'm just mad. I'm gonna kill everything. Like, stop! You could have just ended it. So, what else happened to? Yeah, and yeah. But I digress. I'll think of more. So just start it up.
Episode 10, Demon Lord's Resurrection. So they resurrect the Demon Lord, and throughout this episode, you kind of see that like Alicia seems upset with the way things are unfolding,
Yeah,
and
that was yeah. I noticed that when it first off, I was like, she didn't even bat an eye at the girl that was there. So I was like, oh,
yeah, she was
I was like,
smiling when the Demon Lord came out, and she was upset when the Demon Lord seemed different, and
I
she
was,
just
yeah. I meant when Eldegarde saw her, and she's like, she didn't even question who this was. And she's like, oh, she's just like, oh, she just rolled with it. I was like, that's interesting.
yeah. So Krebs, Clem, they called her Clem. So Clem's easier to say to Krebsculum.
Crab Slim.
Clem has no recollection of why she hunts the mortal races or dislikes them, and they win her over with biscuits, which seems to upset Alicia. And
Peace.
Eldegard is not thrilled about it, but like she exists to serve Demon Lord. She's like, all right, well, it is what it is. So they disperse, and um, a bird squid face fallen shows up, the eldest of the servants, and wants to kill all the mortals in celebration of the Demon Lord's resurrection. But when the Demon Lord's like, nah, don't do it, he goes, this is an incomplete resurrection, then tries to kill the Demon Lord, which Elderguard gets in the way of. It's like, we serve the Demon Lord. You shouldn't jump to conclusions out of your own free will. Well, Eldegar gets her ass whooped, and it becomes a fight between Diablo and the squid face birdling fallen, where he makes a dart for Squidface makes a dart for Clem, and Rem saves her. But then he gets pelted by Diablo and realizes Diablo is strong and retreats. Does a tactical retreat.
No, he just ran.
Oh, my
Scaredy
bad.
cat. Should just died. Saved
And
us a whole bunch of trouble.
they end up taking Clem home, and I think they gave her more biscuits, but I'm not too sure.
Peace.
And at this point, Alicia just looks like all of this is messing with her plans.
Yeah.
And I didn't trust her from the get go. I was like, nah, this girl's way too smooth talking. I don't know if I trust her. So good intuition, Irby. Good intuition on my part.
Mm. All of that could apply to your daily life.
Damn. But towards the end, Diablo, of course, using magic, was drained and ended up laying in bed. Rem happened to not be in the room, and Shira said because there was too many people in here, she decided to sleep with Alicia. But then you turn around and Rem's taking her shirt off, and Diablo's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Well, since Rem's not here, I figure I can help you recharge." And then Clem is like, "You can help people recharge by doing that?" "Yeah, and it'll help you too. Come do it." So they are. Clem got completely naked, and Shira had nothing but her panties on, and they were just rubbing all over Diablo. And I think all three of them hit a climax.
Moving on.
I think it was nice for him until the final moments of episode 12.
Yeah, my man was
Yeah,
down and
he
out.
didn't. Yeah, he didn't even make it to the feeling part.
Shoot.
He just fainted. But episode 11, the young girl awakens. In this episode, Alicia comes out of her shell and reveals her plan. She like kind of leads Clem and Rem elsewhere and like sets Rem up to be abducted by Sadler, who takes
Paladin.
Saladin.
The Paladin.
Oh, the paladin, yeah.
Yeah, the palindrome.
Who takes Rem into a church that appears to be a torture chamber.
A torch. Good.
Um,
You come up with some nice new words lately. I'm about to start writing them down.
I'm fucking tired of shit.
A torch. Was you said Klimskum?
Krebscum. I
Klimslim?
just don't know how to pronounce that name. Krebscum.
Mm,
I don't,
Krebslim?
I don't know how to say the last half. The SKULM.
I don't even know, man. I just be out here looking and readings.
So Sadler, if you know, I wouldn't even mind Sadler's character if he wasn't so sadistic. Why he was talking about his god and like things like that. Like he's just like this is more for your enjoyment than anything.
Yeah.
And it turns out Alicia just thinks humans are corrupt and wants to rid the world of them so the world can be beautiful.
Yeah.
So we end up in the torture church with Rem and Clem, and I don't know why Sadler doesn't like question why what appears to be a human child in his head is was allowed to just stay there. I'm like he did not give any fucks about a human child witnessing the torture.
Yeah.
But Diablo is looking for them. He has a bad feeling. You know, he's starting to suspect Alicia, and he goes to the guild, but like he doesn't know how to ask for help. But he knows he shouldn't ask as if he's a demon lord. Which I think if he asked in his normal demon lord act, they would have been fine with it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but some demi-human kid showed up and explained that they saw Ram and what looked like a child get dragged away. So Diablo goes running to the church, and before he even gets there, they slice Ram's ear. They and this is when that cliche moment happened where you're talking about even when they're hurting me, don't do anything to them, and where Clem she probably could have hurt them without killing them.
She didn't have to hurt them. She could have just went super mode, scooped her up, and ran back to the village.
Well, yeah, it's Rem's fault anyway. His Clem clearly has the mind process of a child. It's almost like Melim and Slime when she first showed up.
Yeah.
Um, but Rem is also like almost child minded because like Rem is like thinking, oh, if she uses her power, she's gonna kill people. And I was like, bro, like she can just. She says she can just break this cage. She doesn't. You can just tell her just break the cage, but don't kill them,
Yeah.
and you'd avoid most of that.
Yeah.
But whatever. It gets revealed that Clem is the demon lord. No, well, no. That she's a fallen, and then Rem goes to save her and gets cut in the back, and then Sadler, brutal as hell, put all four swords in Rem's back.
Yeah.
So Clem goes berserk and turns into like demon lord form, and that's when Diablo shows up and he's fighting her. And that is the beginning of episode 12, Battle for Legacy. Diablo, obviously not trying to kill Clem, is just trying to make her remember him. Gives Shira all of his potions to give to Rem. Shira heals Rem, and Diablo sets up a. And he's taking damage. He has no way of healing himself. He sets up a 12-point spell circle. I think it was Abyss something. He did something called Abyss.
It's magic.
Yeah, where like it looked like almost every element in the world activated within the circle to attack Clem. So when it finally wore off, Clem got back up, but then Shira and Rem called out, and they got through to her, and she transformed back, and they hugged each other, and it was a good time, and everyone was happy. Uh,
Almost everyone was happy.
until Sylvie, I think her name is. Is that the name of the guild master?
Yeah.
Sylvie shows up and is like, "Hey, Demon Lord, can't be here. No can do." It's like, "Are you gonna fight me?" Diablo said, and she's like, "We trust you, but we can't trust her. If it wasn't for you being here, the city would have been gone." And it's like, well, Diablo's bright idea was to enslave the Demon Lord, and to do that, they had to kiss, which didn't fold over too well with Rem and Shira later on.
Yeah.
But I digress. They kiss. She gets the collar. She's allowed to stay in the city. They're all about to go to sleep. Boom! Alicia barges in, knife to Shira's neck. Wants Clem to heal Eldegard, and Diablo says, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." So then Alicia wants to kill herself, and Diablo's like, "You idiot." Mainly because like he relates to how she feels growing up. So I think that's why he wanted to save her. But she's forgiven in the end, one of the other cliche moments, and because he used magic again, he almost collapsed, and then Shiro's just like, "Oh, we gotta recharge him like before." So Shiro takes off her clothes. Clem takes off her clothes. Clem orders
Elder Guard and
Eldegard to take off her clothes.
yeah.
Rem says, "If it's just this one time, I'll help." She takes off her clothes, and then Alicia takes off her clothes. So five naked women, all about to attack freaking Diablo, and he just faints.
Yeah.
Then roll credits, post credits. There's a scene where Rem and Shiro want to kiss too from Diablo, and he almost does it, but then he's like, "I'm a demon lord. Don't bother me with things like this," and then walks away.
Yeah.
End of season.
End of season. Season
I liked it. I
ends.
think the ending was kind of rushed. Like they didn't do enough with the demon lord whole Clem thing, but I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a feeling it was gonna be there was gonna be a really really smutty. Like I'm surprised they didn't dive into the smut at the end.
Yeah. They dove in the smut at the beginning.
Yeah, they
So
definitely did. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, mm, too much. My heart can't take it no more.
I hate this part right here.
But yeah, yeah, I mean it was okay. Um yeah, it's not a bad show. Definitely not what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, man.
Thought it was a yeah.
It'd be
Yeah, all
like
the
that.
cliche moments. Yeah, you can't win them all.
No, it's cool. It's still a good show.
Hit or miss.
You gotta
Hit or miss.
if you can get past the smut, which it's easier to get over that than High School DxD, then
Never
you'll be
seen it.
fine. Yeah, I didn't even finish an episode.
Dang.
But it's fine. Like I said earlier, I've been watching Dororo. I'm caught up with The Devil's a Part Timer. That's really good. Do-
Without me?
Dororo is really really good. You already know. You already know I've been watching it. Why are you acting surprised?
Did I? I
The
don't
fact that you
remember.
stopped watching it is amazing to me. Like, why'd you stop after the first season?
Because I didn't know it was season two.
Yeah, there's season two, dog. You're falling behind as we speak.
Oh, I always like catching up, like the condiment.
Stop.
Yeah,
And
and you
then
don't stop.
and you're watching a King's Game or something like that.
Yeah, that thing wild, boy. I'm only 4 episodes in. I'm like, dang, I don't know if I can watch any more of this. This thing, wow.
We shall see when I finish Dororo.
I don't know if you want to watch it, dog. It's just pure best stuff. It's like I think the best way I could probably describe it is Saw Classroom, pretty much.
It sounds up my alley.
Yeah. I was like, dang, you did that to the homie? I was like, dang, all right. It's terrible.
Yeah, it sounds about my kind of thing.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't bad what they did to the homie. Except he just knocked him out. Um, yeah, because basically the premise is you have to do things in order to live and survive, but it's not all above board and it's crazy stuff. And every once in a while they throw in like a little special rule for something, and then it just throws a wrench in everything. And I'm like, oh man, yeah. But yeah, I was like, ooh, we
Mm.
shoot, yeah. But
Hmm.
yeah, not bad. I haven't looked at it. And then I started watching Isekai Cheat Magic. That's pretty. That's a nice one. 6 episodes deep in that thing. Um, what else I've been watching? Just enjoying the time. Let's see. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, Dead King's Game. Oh, and Index. That one's a little crazy too.
Index,
Yeah, certain magical index.
is that
He has a right hand that nullifies stuff. So yeah, and
I
then I've
think
been
I
kind of
heard that
fun.
I think I heard there was a spin-off of that's actually more popular than that. I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
It might be. I don't know. But then I watched a little bit of I've been killing Sly for 300 years. That one. I don't think you would like that one too tough.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I already bought the manga, so I might as well watch it.
Yeah.
It just seems
It's not
it sounds like someone who's OP. It just sounds like a OP character that's just I don't know. Probably less of a story and more of just a bunch of random shit happening.
exactly. Bunch of randomness.
That's the vibe I get from it. I haven't even watched it already yet.
Yeah. Cause I was like, there's minimal fighting, but most of it's just run around doing crazy stuff and stuff.
That's like Dragon Maid anime. It's like there's not really a lot of fighting. It's kind of those are like your freaking um what are the slice of life animes with action, and it's like that. Those are the ones we probably should be picking, honestly.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Throw in some powers into the mix of this everyday office life.
Everyday office life. Yeah. I like everyday office life stuff. Do I? I don't know. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up, sir. Well, unless you want to tell me what you've been watching.
I did first actually.
Oh, I wasn't listening. Huh.
Doesn't
Well
sound
then,
too different from usual.
you right.
Haha.
Seki, haha. Oh
Sucky
yeah,
haha.
Black Clover's gonna come back out. I did see that.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, I need to catch up so I can watch everything.
Chapters.
Yeah, I'm gonna start watching or start reading it again.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't even have to, dog. I already spoiled it for you.
you did spoiled everything.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, but you can spoil something earlier that you wanted to say, but you didn't say it.
Well, I assumed you were caught up with Black Clover. I
No, I'm
know you
talking
haven't
about
even
something
started
else.
this.
Something, yeah. So go ahead, say it,
Nope.
do it.
Nope.
Mm, yeah,
You
but
want to find
I
out?
guess
Watch it.
no, I don't care that bad.
Nah, it's a really good show.
What show?
Dororo.
Mm, maybe, maybe not.
Guys,
This is
I don't
how
know
I
if you
feel.
noticed, but Irby has like really weird standards.
I don't have no standards, dog.
Nah, you got weird, strict standards for anime.
Nope, I got no standards.
Nah, yeah, you do.
Mm-mm. I'm as lowly as can get. No standards. Pockets. But yeah, go ahead and wrap this thing on up, King.
Alright, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Irbal Sinergy. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.